Let's go. How you doing?
Well, fine, I think.
Yeah, you think?
We're gonna find out, I think,
You
in a
do?
few seconds.
Yeah. How fine you actually are. So what are you doing in Maple on the Adele? How are you feeling?
I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the playstyle, like it's up close, but not too close.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of close,
Uh,
can you make sure you're close to your microphone?
yeah,
Oh,
is
there
it
we go.
better?
Yeah, way better. Hell yeah.
Right.
So you're liking it, and what kind of content do you do on a daily basis, weekly basis?
So I try to get on like every day, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not always happening because I have a job and go to the university, so
Mm-hmm.
it's probably 3 days of really playing. So I do like dailies,
Mm-hmm.
all my dailies,
When you say all,
and
what kind of stuff?
the Arcane River,
Mm-hmm.
and I I actually don't do one thing. That's the Kana, not the Kana, the Arcana, the quest.
Spirit
Like
Savior?
this, yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like it. I suck.
Would you like some tips for it, or?
I don't know. I've seen you doing it, and it's not happening for me.
Hmm. So do you find yourself getting caught by the spirit?
Yeah.
Mm. And what do you get stuck on? Because for me in the beginning it was mostly down jumping. Like you're trying to down jump and
Yeah.
then he catches you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing is when you have 4 or 5 and then you're trying to hand it in, he will like catch you on the way to hand in the spirits, right? And then you get no points and you get the shield and then you tilt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can just because you're at level 239?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can always just one-shot the trees, right?
The what? Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. just checking.
Yeah.
And the because the main thing, and you have max attack speed.
I don't know how to how to check it.
So Adele caps if you have yourself your own booster, everything, and then you have decent speed infusion and green pot, then you're fully capped.
I don't use a green pot for this, but yeah, when I'm bossing, I'm using it.
Yeah, and then you also use speed infusion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean you'll be too well. Right now I'm not using green pot either. So the main thing for let's try. Okay, let's see how we can. Because down jumping is really bad. So what I try to do is limit my amount of down jumps as much as possible. So if you're coming from the middle and you're going here, you want to down jump, but you don't want to down jump from here, right? Because then you need to down jump 2 times. See?
Okay.
So you want to avoid that little thing on the right, but you want to be here. And then if you want to be safe, you can do all the way here. Wait for the spirit to come closer.
Can I kill it?
And then jump. No. You cannot hit it.
Yeah, I never tried it.
Yeah, no. Good thing you didn't try, because you will fail. And then like this, you have a lot of distance, right? You see where he is. Now, if you want to speed up, you can do plummet. And then you can speed up your fall a lot, you see?
Yeah.
And that way you can also create
my main
distance.
problem is not the first round, but the second time I do it. The first 5, I always manage to hand them over.
Yeah.
And then the second climb I do, it's always fucked up.
So this is a good one that I like to hand in, because you can do down jump and then just flash jump, and then that falls right into the middle as well.
Nice.
And here, if you don't want to get on the tree and need to do that, you can also use the dash, right? Do you use Impale and Resonance Rush combo sometimes?
Yeah.
So you can also
stacks.
Yeah, but you can also use it here to get through and immediately kill it. And that way you also don't have to down jump. You can avoid it that way.
Oh, nice.
And then when you're going over the top, I like to use the up jump in the middle to get a lot of extra speed. Did you see that?
Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah. And then that way you create way more distance with the spirit, right?
Wait, you do the up jump?
Yeah, up jump.
No double jump to the right?
No, because the up jump maintains your forward momentum. The flash jump will actually slow you down because it's slower than flying.
I see. So this is cocking me a lot. So because I always see you doing it, and I never managed to.
Ah, yeah. You were trying to do the flash jump instead of the.
Yeah, and I didn't understand what's going on. Like I'm getting slower. Like I don't know if I use the curse word. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Like
it's okay.
YouTube, put a beep on it.
Yeah, beep. There you go. The late beep. Did you see how I handed in the last ones?
Yeah.
So that's another way that you can use your mobility to get out of a situation that's a little bit difficult. I'll do it again for the people who didn't see. So you can do down, impale, resonance rush, and then that'll basically let you go through, even if there is no platform underneath you. Other characters, if you want to down jump, there has to be a platform there, right? But Adele can down jump through a platform anywhere by just throwing the crystal down with impale and then resonance rushing to it. And then you can plummet and then smash yourself all the way down. So I guess I'll show
the
that.
plummet has a distance cap.
You can always plummet, but it has an amount of distance that it does plummet. If you would go from all the way to the top of the map and plummet and there was no platform beneath you, you would like stop plummeting before you hit the ground, but then you can plummet again. But usually you don't. I mean, yeah, you don't need to. That map isn't high enough where you need to plummet multiple times. But yeah, as long as there is, there is a pixel below you, you can plummet basically.
Nice.
Right? Even if you're standing almost on the ground, you can still plummet.
Yeah.
If you're all the way up, boom. But yeah, hopefully these tips will help you out a little bit. But yeah, so that way you can avoid down jumping, right? You saw I didn't down jump that much during that run.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it either. You get stuck on things all the time, and
it never works.
Yeah, and it tilts you. And also sometimes if you down jump and you're in the middle, you start grabbing on the ropes, right? That's also scary. So knowing where you are is good. Like if you plummet and you end down here, then you can just down jump and hit. Also, for one extra tip that I haven't been using much, but if you are here on the sides and you're on the tree, you actually don't have to down jump. You can just hit from here, and you can also pick it up from here. You don't have to go down. Yeah, so the tree on the right side and on the left side.
Like the portals, you have a pixel that's touching. Like when you don't have to spend a...
Exactly. You go a little bit more to the right, that's lower.
Yeah.
Or a little bit to the left on this side, and then you pick it up. You don't have to go all the way down. But yeah, the flash jump is gonna, I think, help you a lot with momentum. And if you want to do something scary, you can see how I hand these last guys in. And you can use Resonance Rush like that as well. But that's like if you get more experience.
Yeah, I would get caught there.
And that's the scary one, right? Because you see in the minimap, and once you do it enough, you'll just know where he is. Like in the beginning, you get kind of scared because you don't know where he is, right? And then because you get scared, you kind of slow down, and then he catches you more easily. But like this run, like he wasn't anywhere on my screen even the whole run, because if you keep going, he's stuck the whole time transforming. And if he's stuck transforming, he's stuck, you know. So he doesn't move at all. I think I got a crystal here, so I can dash to it, yeah. And then it kills that guy.
Nice.
Uh-oh, that caught that guy, now making it difficult for myself. Ooh. So yeah, you'll as you get more comfortable with it, you'll be just dashing around the map, and it's almost going to be difficult to get hit. So let's say that you are on the top right, and he's coming to you, and if you think if I'm going to go down diagonally, he's going to catch me, the best thing you can do is just wait until he gets very close, and then either down jump or down resonance rush and plummet, and then down again and go to the bottom of the map, and then just flash jump over the bottom of the map. He'll never catch you that way. But if you allow him to do the diagonal, he's gonna have the shorter distance, right? You're gonna be traveling longer, Pythagoras and all of that stuff, right? So if you make him do both of the lengths, then he won't catch you. You'll be faster. You can outrun him. Your flash jump is just faster than whatever he can chase you with, even at 5. It's gonna be a little bit scary, but even at 5, you're gonna be faster.
I see.
But yeah, hopefully those tips you will be able to.
I think I
get
will.
another shot.
Can I have 1 second?
Sure.
Second.
Oh yeah, I should start this as well. Where's my? Oh, this one. There we go. Dailies and intro plus. There we go. What up, Jay? How you doing? You think 5 will be enough to get my 5 Abza pieces from 15 to 17? It should be enough, yeah. I think on average it's something like 650 mil per piece. So like 3.5 is probably what you're expecting to spend.
Okay. I'm here. Sorry.
Welcome back. No problem. I mean, it's your time, so. Okay, so yeah, but Spirit Saver, when you get better at it, and especially once you've unlocked up to Esfera, right, you can do one good run of handing it in 4 times, and then autocomplete, boom, 10 symbols, right? It's too valuable, I think, because it will become a daily that's just 90 seconds for 10 symbols. That's just too valuable to let slip, I think.
I agree, but I just sucked at it.
Yeah, so. I get it. And then yeah, it's too frustrating, and then it becomes more inefficient because you're just wasting your time if you're getting tilted and not having fun.
I haven't done it for like three months. Everything else I think is about the Vanishing Journey and not Vanishing Journey, the Arcane River. I think I'm good there. Like I do all the dailies, I have a progress.
And weeklies, what bosses have you already done in a party, and what ones have you already done solo?
So I don't have a party. So I've never done Lucid and Will. And I just recently started doing clearing, what's it called? Lotus and Akechi. Papulatus, I always die out. And Damien is just tilting me.
Okay.
I don't know if I can go to the slime. I don't know.
23.6. I mean, if you, I mean, that's like a little bit of mechanics as well, but not as much. It's more just like doing damage, and well, you have to just avoid attacks a lot. You just switch platforms at the right time and you're good. Might be able to. I think CPAP is CPAP and Damien would, yeah, you would hope would definitely be possible. So I'd probably focus on those first, and then once you feel more comfortable with those, you can start adding slime to the rotation. When it comes to CPAP, have you seen my video on it?
Multiple times, and it's also an Adele video, so it's supposed to be very helpful, but it's not.
It's not. Okay.
For me.
So what ends up what ends up stopping you?
I always get caught in the jumping. I don't know, the things from above that come
claws?
down. Yeah.
Yeah. They just grab you, and then and then a purple clock, or the lasers touching at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And then you just get out.
I have more than enough damage and IED to kill him. I just don't have enough practice. That's it.
Yeah, so it's good to note where the claws are that are going to come all the way down, because there's only a few of them. They're in very annoying spots, so that's very important. But it is... you definitely also get to a point as an Adele, of course, where you can just... you know, in the beginning, you just put some stuff down, and then you just bind and burst them, right? Like you use the Infinity Blade and all of the stuff you have, and then you can probably just blow them up, and then all you have to do is block one laser, or, you know, you just buff Freezer through him, and then you're good.
Yeah.
I can go in real quick. So it's going to be like a little bit on a delay, which is a little bit unfortunate, I guess. Oh, hang on, wait, maybe I can just stream it to you on Discord. That way you can see on real time, and then you can hear me in real time. Boom.
You want me to do it and stream you? It will be sucky.
There we go. Can you see it?
It's loading. Yeah, I see.
Okay. So the thing I try to do most of the time is to try to lure him to the left, right? Because I like blocking the lasers on the right side. So I want distance between him and myself, so that he's forced to walk to me, and in the time that he's walking to me and that I'm out of his range, he won't do the purple clocks below me. So that's what I'm looking for. Also, I want to put my skill visibility all the way on minimum, and especially if you're practicing for basic numbers, you want to put it on mini blade, so that all of the numbers go on one line, right? Yeah, okay. And then a powerful tool that you have is your, what's it called? Feather float, right? Because it's like a teleport.
Yeah.
And do I have my toggles on? Yeah. And your resonance rush and your dash as well is really good, because it allows you to go horizontally, so you don't have to... Okay, that clock is not going to reach me. So this is always a safe spot, right? The rifts are always on the same spot. So I had to guard there, so I'm already down one iframe now.
Yeah.
So now it's all about walking at the right time, blocking the laser. So here I'm going to use...
The white claw is never going all the way down?
No. Oh, I missed the iframe there. Whoops. Yeah, so you see that one, it goes all the way down. The one in the middle, that's the scary one. Yeah. But the other ones, they all have a set distance that they can go.
They always go to the same distance. I never know it.
Yeah. So this one, that's the scary one. The one there in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the one we really want to look out for. And then we want to keep him on the left. And then go last minute. Go block. And if there's a clock underneath me, I have...
iframe.
I have the iframe, yeah, exactly. Now I'm low on numbers, right? So I'll loot some clocks. Now I'm 12 seconds off, which means when I have to double up again when I get to 6. But other than that, for the next 25 seconds, ooh, that's a scary position there. So usually I would, you know, he's already a low HP, so usually I would just bind him and burst him now, right? So here you can stand, but this one is a little bit scary because now, yeah, clocks, and we want to block laser here as well. So this is a bit scarier of a place to be, and I don't have my iframe. Now I got lucky with the purple clocks, but that's a bit more risky. So in general, I'd be like, oh, go over here. Because all the way in the corner is pretty much always safe, right? You can always hide all the way here. Rifts will never catch you. Or you can go all the way on the other side as well. Rifts will also not catch you, and the hand doesn't come far down here either. See, now I got too close because I was showing that, he can come down. But that's the maximum distance. And have you done this stage before?
Yeah, I know how to deal with this one. You take the 9, it gets you 3 to the 3 back.
Yeah, 3 back basically, yeah.
And if you get 4, it takes you 2 forward.
Yep.
Maybe 3 if you're really ahead of the last stage.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then if you can, you want to avoid this, right? By taking the... Ooh. By
Wait, did you...
By binding him.
Did you press it while it was...
Yeah, while it was spinning, yeah, you can... It'll already open up
where... You can catch it?
Yeah. It'll already clear the screen where it's going to land. So if you know exactly where it's going to land,
oh, so
you can catch it faster.
I thought maybe you can clear it while maybe you take a 9 and then it goes over a platform
Oh
and you
yeah,
just
no, yeah,
star catch it.
yeah.
No, it's not
No,
working.
it doesn't go where it is in the moment. It goes where it was going to go anyway. Yeah, I wasn't blocking that because memes.
Yeah. So stage 2, phase 2 is nothing. Just
Yeah,
wait.
it just has way less HP, so it's not as scary. Technically, if you leave the Papulatus flying around, and he can absorb them to heal a lot. So you do want to kill them if you're slower. And he can also random teleport you. And sometimes it happens while you're like standing right here, waiting for the lasers to block, and then he teleports you around the map, and then you don't block lasers and you die. So like if I wait here and he teleports me, okay, no, he's not teleporting. But that's the two scariest things. So if you're like 1 life left when you get to phase 2, and that happens, you can still get cucked. But usually, and again, you can also time it out with your iframe and everything. But usually for phase 2, if you get him to like like around here, so that the last phase doesn't activate, and then you
What last phase?
well, the one where you have to block the clocks, right? Like, see, now he teleported me, like, right at the right time.
Too slow.
Yeah.
So now it just popped all my iframes, still didn't die. Because, Adele things. And now the damage of the Infinity Blade will just kill him anyway. But yeah, of course, this character has a lot more damage. And we'll get into... But the character isn't, like, crazy... like, it's not just stat-wise, right? It's, like, all the things combined. Is there anything that I did for CPAP where you think like I can't do that or I don't know how to do that with what I just showed? Because it is practice for sure, but I can make it look easy just because I have like 1,000 CPAP experience, of course. But
It's just kind of panicking me because I know where to go, but I always use flash jump, and it scares me to get caught in from the claws. So
yeah. Well, that's why I like using the dash, the impale and resonance rush, because it gives you the vertical mobility of like a teleport basically, with no sorry, it gives you the horizontal mobility but with no vertical movement. So you can get underneath the claw sometimes before it comes down, and a flash jump can sometimes get you hit by one. So that's why teleports are sometimes really, really important by certain classes, right? Because they give you that non-vert, and it's especially also important in other boss fights like Hard Magnus and everything where things fall down from the ceiling, because then you can get underneath them without ever having the risk of getting caught by something that's falling.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with Magnus because I one burst him.
Yeah, that's a one burst now. But like Damien also has stuff falling from the sky sometimes, right?
Damien?
Yeah, the yellow balls, and then in phase 2 the red balls that fall.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. They don't really bother me.
Okay. What bothers you in Damien? Because I mean, while I'm at it, I can jump into Damien too, I guess.
I actually don't really know because I didn't think I was strong enough like 2 weeks ago, and I got a boost in IED. I was like 88 visual, and now I have 94.
What did you gain? The Muto skill or?
I don't know actually. The Muto skill.
Familiars?
No, I don't have. The familiars are always the same. I don't remember what happened. I got.
Maybe your hyperstat from mobbing to bossing that you switched? Maybe it was on mobbing before? Yeah.
I got the link skill.
Okay. The Luminous?
The Luminous? I don't know. It's the 20. Which one of them?
Yeah, Luminous gives you 20% IED.
20%, yeah.
But that wouldn't...
Yeah, I got this one and it got me like 4%. 4%.
That wouldn't be enough for 4%. You know how IED works with the percentages?
I think I've heard you like explaining it like a few times. Let me try. I don't know how it starts, but I know that if I gain now, if I have 90% now,
Mm-hmm.
and I gain another source of 30%,
Mm-hmm.
it's giving me a 30% of what's missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
So that would be 30% of what's missing is 10%, right?
Yeah.
So that's 3%. So that would take you from 90 to 93. So if you're telling me you get from 88 to 94, that has to be more than 20%, right? There's more missing there. If you gain 6% of the missing 12, then you got 50%.
I might got Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Legion
the
and
Legion.
Link skills combined can be a difference. Yeah, if you reset your Legion build to more IED.
Yeah, I filled up my Legion board.
I see. Do you have a picture of the Legion board as well?
I think there is over there. No.
No, it's just the characters on the
Oh.
bottom. Sorry, you asked if I sent if you sent it, but
Yeah.
I saw
You
the
want me to
characters.
share screen?
Yeah, I guess you can do that. Do you
Sorry.
want me to do anything with Damien, or do you think that with more practice you'll be fine?
I think I will be fine with more practice.
Okay.
This is my board when I'm
Mm-hmm.
bossing,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the mobbing.
The mopping one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have the crit. And then for all the new characters, that's probably enough. And then you just switch to middle stats when you're on a different character.
Yeah. I just switched those.
Mm-hmm.
So I just recently got to 350, so I got another line maybe? No, I got another, I don't know.
For 4K, you'll get another expansion. 4, 5, 6 is the last three grid spaces. So like 4, one bigger.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah. 4K, 5K, 6K. And then the big jumps for characters is at 5.5. That's when you get to put 5 extra characters in instead of 1.
I see. So I don't really remember what happened. Maybe
Mhm.
I changed the stats.
Maybe you. Well, now you're at 90.6 again. Did you complete the superior equips, maybe?
No, I don't have a superior.
And did you roll
wait.
potential on WSE?
Maybe.
Line of
I
IED?
think not. The 30% was always there. Oh yeah, I changed.
There's 2 IED lines, yeah.
Yeah, I had one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was that one plus the Legion plus the other one. All of it combined, right? It's the IED. Which for now is fine, honestly, because it'll make sure that you have more than enough IED when you're doing these harder bosses. And then once you complete more of the Legion and you complete the Superior Golic set, then you can re-roll those items and then the IED will be taken care of by the other sources.
Yeah.
So that's
I
fine.
actually don't like doing Galax. I really
Wow,
I'm really
that's
weak.
controversial statement. Everyone else loves Golics, dude.
I only have the belt.
Uh-huh. No, that's good. That's fine. Yeah, no, Golics is just a major gatekeeper basically for making it easier for people to get into Lucid and Will. As an Adele, you do have a very good kit, so you can kind of get past it more easily. So you don't need it as much. But so for you, it might not be as necessary, but it'll definitely be the one that helps you gain a lot of damage because you'll be able to do other parts, upgrade other parts of your equipment better to compensate for the IED and the boss damage that you got from the set bonus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll get into the details of all of that. Okay. So kind of do. And do you have a specific goal in mind of what you want to reach, or are you just trying to progress and make sure that you don't fuck anything up?
I think I don't have a specific goal. I'm just like kind of stuck. I don't know where I am.
Mm-hmm.
What is my next move?
Okay.
I'm just kind of slowly doing stuff I think I need to do, but there has to be a better way to do this, and bigger milestone I can go to have more strength, more power. I don't know.
Okay.
To go through more content.
And what is the so what do you kind of use now as an approach? Are you just kind of winging it? Are you looking at some of my sources? Are you asking other people, or a combination of everything?
You're kind of my main source for MapleStory.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, go for
it. I don't have a thing specific in mind though. I wanna go through to the next stage. I think like I have a lot of things that have progressed, half good, halfway,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know like a good general order of what to do and like have organized things.
Yes. Okay. Are you familiar with the progression grid?
Which one? The one you're showing right now?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
So if you look at this one and you look where you are, and you say you're a little bit stuck, well, lo and behold, why do you think that is? Because you're right at the transition, right? From the mid to the late in my grid. That's not a coincidence. That's just because the content that comes at you, it definitely shifts. And one of the big shifts is that how much more expensive every upgrade becomes, and how much more you need to be prepared to be able to make a lot of money and save up for it, because every single upgrade just becomes so expensive. And you definitely get to the point where if you kind of, just throw money at the problem, up until now, you can just make it go away and you can brute force through it. But if you do that at this point or beyond, you can be spending 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money and maybe not even get what you're trying to get if you don't have a good plan. So in a sense, it's good that you're like realizing that you're stuck. So we can kind of look at all of the different sources and see where you're at now, or all of the different sources of damage, and see how we can move forward with all of the specific parts. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Are there any systems where you think you are the most stuck and you have absolutely no idea what to work on?
I really don't know. I don't have a drop gear. I have only damage, and recently I cubed my rings, and I had 2 lines of drop there, but now they are not there anymore because I got a lot more stats.
I see.
So I don't know if it's something I need to work on.
Yeah, when it comes to when you're in your account and you don't have a specific money making character, like farming Kana that a lot of people have. If you don't have that, it is going to be very important to have Meso and drop rate gear on your main character, and especially on an Adele that's so strong. For mobbing, it's not going to hurt you. Your kill speed is going to stay the same, so it's going to be a net benefit, right? All of the extra Meso obtained and all of the extra drop rate is just going to increase your speed of growing. And then when you get to the point where you need a lot more damage for the bosses, that's usually the point where you start splitting up the drop in the Meso gear and the boss damage on the boss gear on the other side, and you start being able to afford all of those upgrades because of the extra income that you've generated from all the levels that you've trained. So usually I would advise, before this point, to already start working on the drop in Meso gear. Mainly at the point where you are, let's say that your WSE is legendary, right, and has 2 useful lines, and then everything else is already like epic, and maybe a few unique pieces, but mostly epic with 6 or 9% stat, and you're going towards 15 and then towards 17 stars, like that's what you're considering as the next upgrade. Usually at that point, I would say for the accessories, just go 1 by 1 to legendary, hit anything drop rate or Meso obtain, and then sit there and try to get it on a total of 9 accessories, get 5 with Meso, 4 with drop, and then for your damage, mostly rely on your arcane power, on your WSE that's already upgraded, and on your boost nodes that are going to start leveling, and just on the collective set bonuses of all the stuff, and then slowly work on your flames as you're bossing and as you get flames from drops. And that way you can start, making back the money from the investment from the accessories. And then by the time you get to like 240, 245, and you really want to start doing those harder bosses, the main bosses that you're going to be doing then is Helix, right? For most classes, again, that's basically the stumbling block to get enough IED and to get enough boss damage to be able to hit the bosses properly. That, and you need some time to work on your Legion at the main time as well. You don't want to have to spend like 4 hours a day on your Legion. You want to slowly pace that over time, while still enjoying and making progress with your main character, so that takes a bit as well. But the Legion and the Link skills is where a lot of those stats come from, right? The critical rate, the critical damage, as much as you need on some characters. Adele has very low base critical damage, so they benefit a lot from critical damage for your overall damage output. And then the boss damage and the IED comes a lot from your Legion grid, from the member bonuses, from the Link skills, and then also from the hyper stats from leveling, and then from the set bonus from Gollux. So all of those things are, they come into play and they kind of come full circle around level 240, 245 is where you start finishing up all of those things a little bit. And then, so if you can get your Legion towards 6k around that point, sometimes it's a bit lower, right? So for the progression milestone, you see that to put it a little bit lower, like at least 4k, but you're working towards that. For stat around 24k, which is I think where you are at as well, right? But now a lot of that stat is coming directly from the pieces that don't have money yet. So it is a detour to go for drop in meso gear, and in the beginning you can I could just go for damage and I can train faster and kill faster in new areas. That's true, but then you get to a point where it's like, damn, now I wish I had drop in meso gear, and now you don't want to have to re-roll the gear that you already have like 21% strength on, because then you lose a lot of damage, which makes your bossing get slower. Plus you're going to have to make even more legendary items to then make into damage gear later, right? So that's kind of like, you have to backtrack it a little bit. So we'll see how we can do that for your account with like minimal casualties, but that is definitely something that we want to work on, is getting you full drop in meso set, because every upgrade is going to start getting super expensive compared to how much it has been now, and it's going to be really difficult to afford with limited amount of playing, unless you have like a side character that's already generating that cash.
I don't really have a side character.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 211 arc.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like it, the playing style.
Mm-hmm. Do you do some bosses? Well, I guess not, because he's naked, but you had some equips expire, I'm guessing? Some Terrorburn shenanigans going on?
Yeah, I need to... he has equips in the equip tabs. I just need to put some clothes on him.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's kind of cold.
Yeah. He has a Absolab, Fexolab on him also.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
it's kind of
base
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that can get
On
him
my
to bossing lower level bosses pretty quickly.
What is lower level?
I would say like
CRA?
Yeah, like CRA and everything around there. So CRA and then like including like Hardhilla, Chaos Sakum, like that batch of bosses basically. Maybe Chaos Ping Bean, like those guys.
Yeah, I'm at like max CRA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through the Maple guide, and this is how I kind of rate the bosses.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. The only problem is that Gollux is
It's not there.
He's there on the lower difficulty, but not on the higher difficulties. He's just in there one time.
Yeah, it's just in the normal.
Yeah, I have him in there one time as well for my boss grid, right? But then I have him in the different difficulties within the levels here, so you can kind of see like where it lands. You're familiar with this one as well?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I don't really use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have any kind of, whenever you just have the question of like, I don't know if I can do this piece of content, I don't know if this is even possible, and you've got the same division here between mid-game, late-game, end-game, right? It's all connected with each other, that around the same stats, if you follow the, or if you meet kind of like the numbers here, then you can use this to see what kind of stuff can I do, and that's why you've done all of those bosses, and that's why the next, you have like Damien, Lotus, right? And that's why the next things that you're working on is like Lucid and the Guardian Slime, which are right here. So you're right on pace with all of that. You're not like out of order with that. But I think the thing is, with not having the drop rate and the meso gear, is it's going to be harder and harder for you past this point to keep up unless we work on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. So this is why I want.
Yep.
This is why I'm doing this.
Yep, makes sense. Okay, so do you have any questions? Well, we went through the dailies, right? So we just gave an extra little push and info for Arcane, because it is an 18 symbol a day that I think once you get it down is pretty fast, so that'll help you with the stat as well. I don't know, like Arcane power wise, 930. I don't know what I have set here. Oh, you were on there. You're good. Or 900. You're there, so that's fine. Do you have any questions for the Matrix? Let's see what you have. You have 4 boost nodes. You have all the skills twice?
Yeah.
You have 2 cleaves there, 2... Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the order that you recommend in your
it's fine
grid.
though, because you always use them, so 4 slots, 4 slots for boost nodes.
I was chasing the perfect trinode a lot of time, but then I just got 2 trinodes that's just perfectly fitting, and I just
you just abandon it, you just commit,
and I just hard commit on this, and it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't really matter. No. In the beginning, it might if you're you're limited to like 4 or 5 slots, because you do want to use a bunch of the skill nodes because they're very good. But once you're at this point, it's totally fine. I guess the speed infusion, you might want to throw it in there. I would probably, even for mobbing, elect to throw the speed infusion in there just to be a little bit faster, depending on where you're training.
To throw what?
What did you say? Speed infusion?
Yeah, the level 2, 3 guys.
Because you don't have it in here, right? I would probably, for mobbing, I think it's more important than, say, legacy restoration. Because that's really more.
Yeah, I don't use it.
Yeah, you don't use it, right? So it's just increasing your attack speed when you're, so that just like if you jump and attack, that when you land you're not like stuck a little bit because the animation isn't done yet. So if you're using green pots and stuff when you're mobbing, and then the speed infusion, it's good to get used to the same attack rhythm as when you're bossing, so that you can more intuitively dodge stuff. If you're switching between attack speed a lot between mobbing and bossing, it can be a little bit. Your reaction time might change a little bit in different situations, and you want to be reliably dodging everything and bossing. So if you can constantly stay on the same attack speed, that probably will help a little bit with that. So I would switch that out for mobbing, but other than that, it seems just fine. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with what Adele needs, right?
Yeah.
And you're just working on the...
Do you think the speed infusion is more important at this stage than the will spider thing? I don't know its name.
The True Arachnid Reflection, that one?
Yeah.
I'd probably use a True Arachnid Reflection. I would switch it over Legacy Restoration for mobbing, and then for bossing, this was actually pretty important. For bossing, I guess I would put it over the will skill for bossing, yeah. It's not that significant of a part of your boss damage, and getting out of the way and getting used to that attack speed with the green pot when you're bossing is probably more important. So I probably move over the will for when you're bossing, yeah.
I'm actually like 80%, so I think like
if you're 240, then you can have both. Yeah, exactly. Then you'll be golden. Yeah. Well, then what comes into play maybe for bossing over the True Arachnid Reflection might be the Grandest Goddess Blessing. That gives you a lot of damage for your burst. And since you have you have your self bind and you have all of those other skills that just do a lot of burst damage.
That Grandest Goddess Blessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably when you're bossing. That even at a decently low level, is probably more important for bossing than the True Arachnid Reflection is. Because it for a short duration boosts all the damage that you're doing in your burst, right? So like the Ruin and the Infinity Blade is going to be a lot of your damage as well.
Yeah.
So apparently the order for the skill nodes is Infinity Blade first, then Ruin, then Weapon Aura, I believe. Because of the uptime and the IED and the final damage and the extra damage that it does. It's quite nice. But I guess you're still mostly working on the boost nodes, right? Trying to even them all up, get level 40 on everything.
Yeah. I just leveled them up by chance. The skill nodes.
The skill nodes, yeah, exactly. And once the boost nodes are like pretty close to max, then you can work on Infinity Blade and Ruin and get all that extra damage.
So
Always.
it's more important to go through the skill nodes, the tri nodes first.
Yeah, I would do try nodes first because it helps in mobbing and bossing, and it mostly also helps with your DPM, right? All of your damage throughout the time. Because you're still mainly want to throw out your burst skills when you have the bind ready, just to make sure you can confirm. For some bosses, you can just throw out like a ruin whenever. But a lot of the times you'll pop ruin and then the boss will just teleport and leave and just all of the damage goes to waste, right? So it's more important that your regular skills that hit all the time and then deal damage constantly, that those are boosted higher because they'll just improve your kill speed and your clear speed for bosses better. So I usually focus on those until they're, at least until all the boost nodes are like level 20, 21, 22, around there. And then I start focusing more on the skill nodes. And then, you know, when you're passively opening, then basically the boost nodes turn into the skill nodes and the skill nodes turn into the boost nodes, right? Where the boost nodes will passively level and then the skill nodes will actively level.
Yeah. So should I switch the places?
Yeah, I can see your leveled up slots, but you ideally want to put your boost nodes into the leveled slots, because of the final damage increase.
Oh, actually they are there. They are the first. I don't know why it's showing it differently in the.
Oh yeah, and the View Matrix, it's like it's the activated ones, so I don't know what the. I can see the colors around it to see where the leveled up slots are, but as long as they're in, then you're fine.
Yeah. Should I get the Erda Nova also? Is it something I should consider?
You probably want to level it if you get it. There's really only a few ones that you get rid of. Like you can get rid of. It's probably okay to keep like level 1 on, say, what is it, like Erda Shower or something. I'll probably just keep level 1. And Decent Advanced Blessing, I'll probably just keep at level 1. But the ones that you want to, you pretty much want to level up all the other ones, and the only ones you want to get rid of is Decent Hyper Body and Decent Mystic Door. Is there another one? Hyper Body, Decent Mystic Door. I think all the other ones you just want to level them up as you get them, because Erda Nova is going to get better, and then if you have a boss with multiple stages, you can use both of your binds, right, on the different stages. Like let's say that you get so strong, you want to bind phase 2 Lotus, and you just destroy him, and then you get to phase 3 and you still have some burst going. You can just bind phase 3 again with the other bind and then keep going. And Erda Nova is also going to be made better. And if the further you go into the game, the more you'll use Will of Erda as well, Erda's Will. So that's going to be that's going to become useful as well. And the cooldown goes down a lot for Erda Nova and Erda's Will. So leveling that one up passively, and then Blink as well becomes more useful the further you go.
Blink?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it used to always be just a random teleport, right? But now if you use it in the air, you can float for a while. It's maybe not as necessary for Adele as for other classes, but it'll just go into your arsenal for survivability the further you go. It'll help you, dodge the Lucid lasers more. And then for endgame, people use it for min-maxing as well, because you get 1 weapon and magic attack for every level. So in the end, it gives you 30 weapon and magic attack in a level 5 slot. And then once you get super high level, the slots don't really help that much anymore. So if you can get 30 weapon or magic attack, that's actually pretty massive. Even if you don't end up using the skill during the boss, you still want the damage for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about rope lift. I guess that's a little situational.
I think it's nice, the rope lift. The Lara has it, right?
Well, you all of it can get it, right? It's built in for the Nova characters. It's like Angelic Buster, Kaiser.
Yeah, Angelic Buster.
Kane. Yeah, they have one.
So it's nice, but I don't know. I like my up jump. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, you have the up jump and then the float, and then you have the feather float as well. And then you have the impale and resonance rush, so you can get a lot of uptime. But sometimes the blink is better because it also gives you knockdown resistance. So like if you get stunned by something in the air, you still keep flying. I mean, you stop flying. No, you keep flying, but you can't move around anymore. But you're like stunned in the air, but you don't fall at least. So in that sense, it can be a bit safer. So, you know, also situational, but, you know, extra damage as well. Okay, anything else for the V Matrix?
Not really. No.
Okay.
I think no.
Next here is link skills. I don't know if you have any questions on which link skills to use.
I just go through the grid
Mm-hmm.
and just see what gives me the most damage and do it.
Yeah.
But I also got like the Aran and the Mercedes,
Mm-hmm.
the Avon.
Yeah.
So I got the most of the imported ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, you know about
for sure missing.
the link grid, right? That's the one you're using to check what to make.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have the critical rate now. Yeah, I don't know if you have any temporary crit rate, but you do have a lot of crit rate now from Phantom Instinct and from Focus Spirit. I guess once you get to, well, yeah, the extra space that you have now and the buff duration on your Legion grid, that's going to go more into, probably into critical damage, right, as the grid grows, and then into boss damage, and then as you want to re-roll your your emblem or your secondary, then it'll go more into IED.
Okay, if you say so.
Well, yeah, you basically want to make the puzzle, right? With your hyper skills, with your Legion grid, and with your link skills, you want to make the puzzle that fits around your WSE. But if your options in those sources make it so that you could move away from a line that is giving you less damage than another line, then you want to move over. So, and the way to that can be a little bit difficult to know, like, is switching from an IED line to a boss damage line on a secondary, or is switching from an IED line to an attack line on an emblem, is that an improvement or not, right? That can be hard to know. So for that, you want to use the grid from the progression grid and look at the numbers here, because if you are functionally like somewhere between 93 and 95, which you are now, right? You might even be a little bit above, depending on the situation. That means that if you add any significant source of IED, like a bigger Legion block, going from, 13% there now to 40, or in your set bonus, going from maybe 10% because of the boss accessory set, right, into 30, that will be such an increase that you can remove another source of 30 instead to counterbalance that, and you stay within the same balance for the functional IED, so you can trust the fact that it's going to be an upgrade and you don't have to do like all of the difficult mathematics, basically.
Yeah.
So then you can know for sure, like, okay, now it's worth re-rolling because the amount of the odds that I get a better outcome is significantly higher now.
Yeah.
So that's the security that the game stage grid can give you, and also on, you know, for the distant future, like, how much am I going for? Because if this said like 93 to 99 and you were now at 94, you could be like, okay, that means that right now I could go a little bit lower, but that means I still need to build a significant amount, so it's probably better to hold on to it for the long term, right? But you can see you don't really need functionally past 95 for a long time, and this is only like, you know, for 270, so that's a long time away.
Long way.
Yeah, and before then you have a lot of other sources that will come in. Like all of your link skills will go to level 3. Your Legion is going to be, you know, more fill is going to be 7, 8k. It's going to be a lot of other smaller sources, like the familiars, if you still have them, will maybe be bigger chunks of IED or bigger chunks of boss damage. This is also functional, so it'll also rely on your boss party composition. There's a lot of classes that can give you functional IED. So depending on which people you're partying with, you might not even need to get more lines. It'll just passively go up as you party with these people. So
like a 0, right?
0 does a lot, yeah, but a lot of classes do 0, Bishop, Demon Avenger, Mercedes, Night Lord. Like there's a lot of classes that add extra IED, Arc even. So if that's all of those little things, or like multiple of those sources are together, then you really don't need to upgrade it very much. And there's other things like the Monster Parker medal that you probably don't have yet, right? The 7-day Monster Park. Like that's another smaller source, but that's going to come in eventually. And you know, all of those things stack up. You do have the 20% already from the weapon, so that's something that's not going to increase as much anymore. But there's other things. And, you know, you can check !IED, right, for a list of all the sources, so you can always kind of keep track on where can I make some gains there.
Yeah, I can. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using it.
You're using it. Okay, good. Okay, so makes sense. For hypersets, I see that you have 12 in IED, so maybe considering the current stuff, that's maybe not necessary, but it might be a little bit expensive to just, for like 3% damage, redo the whole thing, so it's probably fine to just leave it as such. But if you did get to like a decently higher level, like if you're trying to min-max your inner ability by the time you get to like Hard Loosen and Hard Will, for example, you're like 250 or beyond. Even for the bossing, I'd probably redo it a little bit. And then, but by then, how big your Legion is and whether you have the Superior Golic set completed and all of that stuff, that will kind of dictate where you want your IED to be. I guess the only last thing I would say about the stat window is, you want to make sure you have 100 crit. If you're over on the crit with non-temporary buffs, so I don't know if the Hungry Muto is taking you over, you also want to make sure to keep that in account with the puzzle again, right? To see if you have all the link skills on right now, but you're getting to like 110% because also decent sharp eyes and you're going way too high. That might mean if you have some crit in the Legion board, you can move it around, or maybe get rid of one of the link skills that gives you crit, replace it with one for damage, and then maybe move a little bit of Legion board into the crit to compensate for it, and maybe a little bit in hyperstats, right? Because that'd be really cheap now to get like 2 or 4% for free, basically. But that could create a whole slot extra available in the link skills. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't really have something to put in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, well, that'll be an extra thing once
change,
you build more on Legion and links. You'll have way more options there, and then the individual value will be higher. Because like right now, a level 1 Tide of Battle, if in your bossing setup, is probably not doing all that much. Level 1 Empirical Knowledge, level 2 Time to Prepare, all of those individually are not doing all that much. But if the alternative is like Adventurers Critical right from Archers, like, well, yeah, that does even less. So then you might as well put it in, right? So as you build your Legion and your links, you'll just have many more options, and then it'll become kind of more clear what the individual value of all of the sources is.
Yeah.
And I guess the last thing about your inner ability, because boss damage is of course really nice, gives you boss damage, obviously. Since Adele is already so strong and can do so many things, and it's mostly just about practicing and getting better with the class, you have a lot of freedom for your inner ability to have something like Meso Obtain or Drop Rate to help you. Drop Rate is nice for equips to drop, for progression, and for nodes, of course, and maybe for droplets. But then Meso Obtain is, of course, very nice for making more money the whole way through. And since you are pretty limited in how much Meso you can make, and we already talked about, for the longer term having the extra Meso gains, that would be something I would consider for the inner ability, is to go for something like Meso Obtain instead. Although your honor experience is pretty low, so my guess is that you've already tried to lock the boss damage and rolled something on the second or third line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had 15% skip duration. Skip.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? Cooldown.
Chance to skip cooldown. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was the 50% discount on the inner ability.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get a better thing, and this one popped off.
Yep.
And I took the photo like 2 days after, and I got to like literal 0. So I have a lot more now.
The honor experience, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can buy some in the current shop as well, right? Because
yeah.
honor experience is a source where you get a lot in the beginning, so it can kind of feel like it's cheap. Like a new character immediately gets like 200k or something, right? Like 250k. But once you spend that, all of the honor experience after that is way harder to come by. And if you spend like 300 or 400k, because it kind of feels like you're getting a lot easily in the beginning, that could be, I don't know, depending on how much you play, that could be months of honor experience and months of progress towards a really good inner ability that you're kind of just losing and, well, I mean, wasting if you use a strong bad word there, right? So I would say for the future, there is in 2 weeks, not this weekend, but the weekend after that, is another 50% off. You could use that, or of course you can also use Meso and use circulators to just try to hit like a 20% Meso Obtain. That way you can save your honor experience for later when you're trying to min-max, when you find that you're not really training as much anymore, leveling as much anymore, and you're trying to more min-max for the bossing. But I will tell you, like, if everything else is kind of on point, you know, all of your other sources of damage, then not that much damage will have to come from your inner ability. And the inner ability is just going to be something to, you know, add some fuel to the fire once you're doing like black mage and stuff and you're trying to speed it up. If you have an inner ability with like drop rate and meso-obtain and anything, you know, even just drop rate and meso-obtain, as a Adele, you'll still be able to do all this stuff near your level, right? You don't rely on the attack speed +1. Cooldown skip is going to be nice, but it's not mandatory, and you will still put out a lot of damage. Yeah. So I think you get more long-term value out of something like meso-obtain for you.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to get meso item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that for the long term, if you try to do that with honor experience, you're slowing down your eventual best in slot inner ability down the road. You're slowing that one down a lot because that one could cost millions. And now because you spent everything up until now, you may have already inadvertently pushed that back at least a year or two. Yeah, but so from now on to move forward, depending on how much money you have, you could set like a little bit of a budget to just do it with circulators, you know, during a 50% off, and if you don't hit it, you could, like, you know, Hail Mary, try to roll as much as
I actually have a question about it.
Sure.
Because I know the tier of the inner ability, the legendary, is not gonna change now. Mm-hmm. And the first line is also locked on legendary, right?
Yes, first line is always legendary. Yeah.
If I roll, and the second line has a legendary potential also.
Legendary? No, you can only have one legendary. Yeah, it can only be rare, epic, or unique on second and third. And second and third basically have the same chances, so they're the same thing. It's like item potential in that sense.
So you can have one legendary and two uniques, or is it
that would be the best you can have. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think I have. I don't know if I have that on this character. No, I have. Yeah, so like this, and then this one could also be rare or epic or unique. Yeah. Yeah, so I got lucky with I rolled these two on a circulator, 10% chance to skip cooldown and 5 drop rate, and then I locked that during a 50% off and tried to get meso-obtain on the top line. That's how I got this one. And I got that pretty early, so now I'm saving up all my honor that if eventually I want to go super hard and I want to min-max on the possible damage output from it, then I can do that. But in the meantime, the cooldown skip still gives me some help for bossing. But when I'm mobbing, it's not the best you can get, but it's really high up there, right? So I can get a lot of extra money the whole time. And because Adele is so strong and you don't need to rely on the inner ability for damage at all, you're just raking in the cash, basically.
Yeah, the cooldown skip is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice having it.
Yeah, it's like free. It's kind of like free extra damage, right? Because things just trigger more, but you don't have to actively really do a lot extra. But yeah, sometimes you get your Reign of Destruction back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Even at 10%, sometimes you get it 2 or 3 times in a row. It's like, oh, it's pretty cool. You just keep putting it down. Yeah.
It was nice.
Imagine if it works for a 5th job, but you could just like spam 5 ruins or something. That'd be so broken.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing it doesn't work on hypers and 5th jobs. Break the game. Everyone would go for 20% cooldown skip or 50% buff duration, right? If that would work on 5th.
Yeah, but you can't also have 2 ruins, 2 Reign of Destructions.
Yeah, right? It cancels the first one.
It canceled the first one.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the duration is shorter than the cooldown, right? So you get to put it back a little bit faster. For mobbing, it's nice because one of the part of the map is just being killed continuously, and then you can focus on the other parts. Do you train on your Adele in the same part where I did?
I actually no. I didn't train. Didn't train there. I just do the dailies, and while I'm doing the dailies, I pop 2Xs, and like the 15 minutes. And this is most of the training I do. Recently, this is most of the training I did because I had like exams and semesters and worksheet and didn't have much time.
Okay. Now you have time
But
for totems and weekends sometimes?
yeah,
With
yeah.
the
Now
longer
I have the
sessions.
time,
Mm-hmm.
so I will have totems, and I tried the rotation that I saw you doing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice. Like I could see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
You could do it for a
It's
long time, right? Without,
yeah, it's
yeah,
super lazy training. Like
mm-hmm.
wow,
Free
it's
gains. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
the one thing
is
will
it
be
really worth it to go to stay in Arcana and not going to a Sphera and the
well,
other ones?
I was talking in chat with someone because they were in Moonbridge at the same level to get familiar cards as well, but it said that the experience was actually a bit lower because there's no burn, right? VC3 is always depleted of the burn because it's such a good map. So if you can compare that to being able to get level 8, 9, or 10 burn in Arcana, because, you know, in the high level channels, there's nobody really training there, especially not during EU times. That makes the experience actually better. The Meza rates are around the same. I think it's a little bit lower, but it's around the same. But the main thing is that you don't get any familiars, right? So that's something you have to consider for yourself. Like, is it worth getting a little cut in experience, a little bit harder time to find a good map, and but getting a little bit more money and get the familiars. If it's your main character, that's probably worth it, right? Because you want to get.
Yeah.
I got the large drop already on my on my Adele. Sorry, I got lucky with that. And I'm not really trying to get like 30% ID and 30% boss on that guy. I'm not expecting to get those ever. So I'm more just trying to get to 250 and then just, you know, settling in that. But if you're maining it and you're trying to push past 250 and you try to do like, you know, hard bosses, Tenebra's bosses, all of that, you probably want to go for the familiars. That's going to be worth more, I would say. But then, you know, if you can't find a map and everything's full or something, you can always go to Arcana and then hop around there. Or Esfera, right? Because there's also familiar cards that drop there. Or maybe even in Morass in the Shadow Dance Hall if you have the Vac pet.
Yeah.
Speaking of it, you picked up all your compensation stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did it.
Yeah, just making sure that you don't forget because that's a lot of value, of course. Okay, so that's for 2 weeks from now, and you're also, I guess 2 weeks from now is also the Magnificent Soul event. You know how souls work and your...
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one on my weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've got some Magnificent Arcs, I see, but yeah, those are more for mules, I guess, or for temporary weapons.
Yeah.
Sadly, they're lower tier.
Yeah, but I have a lot more now. I'm waiting for the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Did you have any questions surrounding familiars?
Actually, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to tier them up.
Okay, so you have item drop rate, and you have 215 IEDs, and then item and measure drop rate by a small amount. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to tier them up, it's really only useful if you are killing a lot of the same monster, right? Because like you can see with Thanatos, you had a lot of cards and you fuse them together.
Yeah.
But the bar is not even halfway full, right? So if
I have one that I build up entirely, and it's not letting me do it.
It's probably because it's not level 5. Because it has to have both. It has to be max level 5, and it has to be the bars full 100 out of 100 for the fusion. Then you can rank it up.
Oh, I need to train with it?
Yeah, you need to train with it, yeah. So that's why usually when people try to go for familiars, they want to move hopefully towards 3 familiar slots so that you can have 1 with a drop rate familiar, and then the other 2 with cards that are just there to level up. And then at the end of the train, and then the ones that drop in the area where you're training, and then at the end of the training session, you throw all of the rares and the commons into the rare that you leveled up, and then you try to rank it up, and then hopefully you get epic, and then you can reveal the epic and be disappointed and do it again at the next tournament. But until you get the large drop, and then you can start making unique cards as well.
All right. So
yeah, it has to have both those things.
I didn't know I need to do.
Yeah.
To train with it.
Is the one that you leveled up? Is it also already a rare card?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so chance for epic. And if you want to get another chance for epic in the lower ranges, if you have a lot of familiar points, you can also buy the booster packs, right? There's a decent chance there for epics.
The booster pack?
Have you ever checked the familiar store?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's I think the only things that are worth it is like having a little bit of energy left over in case you need the essence, and then maybe buying a booster pack. But other than that, I wouldn't buy anything from there. A little bit of a scam.
Yeah. Nah, I never bought anything from here except the essence.
Yeah, if you have like 6,000 or something, I would say buy a booster pack and, you know, test your luck. But if you have like 1k, 1.5k, just save it for extra essences in case you want to extend the summon duration. If you're doing like a long training day with multiple totems in a day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions for familiars?
No.
Okay, cool. Then we can go close that and that and that. Yeah, we didn't go over we went over Legion a little bit, right? You know what characters to get next. You having any trouble growing your Legion or anything you're wondering there? Are you buying the potions and stuff now? Just boosting some characters?
Yeah. I'm boosting the characters. Actually, the Evan here is 200.
Oh, you got big boosted then.
Yeah. And the Phantom got up a little bit, and the Demon Avenger. That's it, I think. I got super unlucky with the potions, actually.
Yeah, the higher you go, the worse it gets, right?
Yeah.
It's all just ones and twos. Yeah, as long as you're focusing the potions on the characters you don't like trading at all, and the ones that will have good value for your account, then, you know, there's no problem there. That's the best value those potions are going to give you anyway. You can make an argument for like spreading the potions over low-level characters so that you get more Legion levels out of it, but you know, you still get the most Legion levels just by making more characters and throwing them in the top 40, right? That's instant 60 levels for a new character versus, you know, using like 12 potions or something. So that's still going to be better value at this stage for you. But yeah, with that progress, I don't think you have any problem getting to 6k, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then we can get into the equips.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, let me switch that so we have a timestamp. Alright. Okay, so how
much time we have left?
Just under 20 minutes.
Oh.
So it should be fine. So the main things... so I'll just scroll through everything and kind of see. But we already talked about the drop in the Meso gear, right? So mentioning that, do you have gear in mind where you're like, okay, this is going to be the gear that I use for that? Because we want 9 pieces in total, right? So we want 4 rings, 2 pendants, 1 eye, 1 face, 1 earring. Which ones do you have so far? You have the black bean mark, right? And
yeah.
And did you have the greed pendant?
Yeah, I have it.
And those are the only 2 right now that give you drop or meso?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not to criticize, just saying.
Yeah.
And how close? Because the big thing is like around now we want to be at the point where we're killing Helix. Are you able to do that?
Not consistently.
Not consistently, yeah. Yeah, that's relatable because that boss isn't consistent.
Yeah.
Although the fake arcane is very helpful, but that's a good flame on there, so you're a really good flame actually. So that's a very solid foundation. Okay, so we'll see where we can get some short-term and mid-term gains, and then because we have the Sunny Sunday coming up, right? So we want to have a good plan for that. Okay, so when it comes to very nice heart, you hit the 30%. That's really nice. Good damage glove as well. So the general rule for star forcing, at least like one of the main ones that I have, is if it only goes up to 15, you don't have to get it to 15, right? Because 15 is you're just paying the admissions fee to play with the 15 plus boys. And that's why it's so expensive, but you don't really get much out of getting something to 15. So in that sense, you're not in like a bad position. What I would say though, like, you know, hindsight 2020 and everything, is there's probably comparatively more money has gone to potential than star forcing than I would have done at this stage of the game. If I had like, you know, a wand and I could change a bunch of stuff, I would make all of your items that are not accessories, I would make all of them epic or unique, and I would take all of your 12-star items and make them all 17 instead. That would end up with probably costing you about the same money, but you would get way more damage out of it. So now that we already are in this situation, we'll just go forward with the other stuff to reset that balance, basically. So it's a good thing that the Star Force event is soon, so we'll look at what pieces we can upgrade, but we'll also need to keep in mind, right, that we're trying to make the drop in Mezzo gear. So with that in mind, accessory-wise, I don't know if you have like a screen, your inventory. I see that that has some. Are those your backups as well on the right side?
I sell things. I don't really save it. It's stupid.
So you have one extra Dominator?
No. This is the compensation when I need to throw it. I don't really.
Oh, the one with crit rate and with strength on it?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't throw it because you have one other Dominator, and we could also look at just quote-unquote downscaling to the compensation Dominator as your temporary damage pendant, and then re-rolling the other one now for drop or mezzo. That way we lose not that much damage if you are bossing, but you will gain way more utility when you're mobbing. So I wouldn't throw it. And you know, I'll try not to impose all of my hoarding onto you. Although I would say like the Sunset Dews and the reindeer milks that you have in your storage, I would always NPC those. That's a lot of money. Plus, you never really want to use those for potions,
it's for
right?
the mules.
For mules, I would still use power elixirs.
Yeah, I have enough now.
Yeah. So and one power elixir NPCs for like 2.5 or 3k, but the Dews NPC for 5k and the reindeer milks for like 4k or something. So they're more valuable, but they give less. So yeah, bang for your buck. I would always NPC those.
Right.
Like even if you didn't have the power elixirs, I would still just buy the ginger ales in Showa instead for mules.
Okay.
Because they're like 2.8k each, and if you have bigger Legion and Lynx, your new level characters immediately will have like 5k or 6k HP and MP, and it'll already heal more.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a small thing, but it adds up over time. So, but yeah, so kind of treasure rings, always keep all of those if you get them. Dominator pendants, keep those. Yeah. Reinforced earrings, if you get those, definitely keep those. Right, because they can transfer hammer into the superior, and of course all the superior stuff you get, like the belts and the earrings, definitely keep those. And the other stuff, because Abzo wise, we'll see where you're at. Well, it's already a legendary, right? So ideally, to get into high Star Force Abzo, and this is, I guess, just advice for other characters, if you use fodder gear level 150 and you Star Force it without having to safeguard, you save a lot of money. You get it up to 15. Usually during a 30% off, then wait for a 5-10-15 to get it to 16, then transfer it into the Abzo, then put the Abzo to 16 during the event, and then just safeguard the last star. That way you save about 400 to 450 mil on just the star forcing, as compared to doing it right on the Abzo. But when you transfer hammer, you lose your potential, right? You would have to redo it. So we can't do that for your current gear. Even though Star Force wise, if you had 12 star, we would just do that. We would just roll over that. But since they were already all unique and legendary, I mean, you'd save 450 mil, but then you'd lose like 800 mil on the on the potentialing, right? So that's not a good decision here. So, but for a future character, you can definitely use that, right? So if you have items where you have a lot of backups, you don't have to safeguard. So that's, for example, your CRA, right? You probably have a bunch of backups for that.
Yeah.
So that's a no-brain, just send and Star Force, and then you just use a backup if you have it. But for the Abzo, you're gonna have to safeguard it, so that's gonna be more expensive for you at this point. Which again, that's and because you don't have the drop-in Meso gear, that's going to be a bit expensive. So we could also say, like, okay, for 5th and 15 for now, maybe we, you know, if a few items are close, we work on those, but otherwise we just spend the money first on getting the Meso and drop rate gear, so that we can start generating that income while we're training, and then save up a whole bunch of money, and then the next 30% off, we get everything to 15 first, and then wait again and make more money with the drop in Meso gear, and then when 5th and 15 comes, then we bump everything to 17. Which I kind of feel more for that, but that would depend on your current budget. If you had 20 bill right now, I would say we just do all of it at once. If you have like 1 or 2 bill right now, or 3 or 4 or 5, like it's more in that order, then I would say work on the accessories first.
Yeah.
And you're probably, because you don't have the income, you're probably in the second category, right?
Yeah, more towards 1 bill.
Yeah, more towards 1 bill. Okay, that's totally fine, and that's because of the order that we did things. So we're gonna work on the accessories first, and we're just gonna wait out. Star Force wise, we can make a lot of gains, but that we're just gonna wait for 30% off first to send everything to 15, and then we'll wait there, and then the next 30%, the next 5 and 15, you're gonna go hard and get everything to 17. But because we do the accessories now, we make sure that when the next 30% happens, and when the next 5 and 15 happens, you'll have the money and you'll have the budget to send to it.
Yeah.
And you won't be in a situation where you have to like, okay, I can like half send 1 or 2 items, but that then pushes the accessories back again, which pushes back the money making again, which means that next event you won't have enough to do all the things you want again then, right? So we're going back a little bit to the foundation, we're repairing that, and then we can go full steam ahead basically. So we have to figure out which accessories can we maybe tweak a little bit currently and get into Meso, obtain and drop immediately with losing very little damage but increasing your income immediately, and then which pieces will be next to fill the sets, and then once the set is full, then we can talk about the drop rate, the star forcing stuff. And also that gives you a little bit more time to do the dailies that we talked about and gather a little bit more backups, and if you have more backups, you'll have more options when the events come around, so that's also pretty cool. Because sometimes, you know, time is your enemy, but sometimes, you know, you can still use it to your benefit. So, with that being said, if you have a condensed power crystal and it is not 30% and it is already legendary, I would say that is one that we want to get Meso or drop rate on. Because it's not an endgame item, right? Eventually you'll have to reroll it anyway. So I think, and ideally, you want to roll a line of Meso or drop and a line of strength. So at most, you should be losing like 9% strength there, which shouldn't make any difference for killing anything around your level, right? Because you're probably, as an Adele, you're just overkilling all of that shit. Because your arcane power is on point, your boost nodes are going well, so, you know, that's, and your WSE has at least 1 line of attack, and you've got that weapon that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, 548 weapon attack, so that's doing fine. And we're keeping the boss accessory set. It has a really good flame, so that does a lot of damage. That does more than if you would switch it out for a tattoo right now. And it has a set bonus, which a tattoo also wouldn't have. So when it comes to drop or Meso, I think that's a good piece. And again, we have to keep in mind you already have 1 drop and 1 Meso, so we need 4 more Meso and 2 more drop, right? So we're looking for or 3 more drop. Sorry. So we're looking for 7 extra equips. So I would say the condensed power crystal, that would be one that I reroll. The black beam mark is already fine, so that's eye and face, and 1 pendant. So we're looking for a second pendant. I would be okay with re-rolling your Dominator pendant as well, kind of for the same reason. It has a nice flame, one that is kind of too nice to roll over, but it's not good enough to transpose. So that's, for me, screams, I want to keep this item, and I want to get as much utility out of it as possible. And you have the backup Dominator for damage, the fake one, but it also gives you crit rate, which might allow you to roll out of the Phantom Link, right? Once you get more damage, so it's like, oh, add 2 or 3 levels to your hyperstats, move 1 block into your Legion grid into crit rate, switch the pendant, boom, get rid of the Phantom Link, extra damage link skill, right? And then that extra damage link skill might make up for the difference in the Dominator pendants too. So that's how you can puzzle around with your stuff to actually make something that seems like a negative, maybe even a positive, and get a benefit out of it. So I would say reroll this one as well to drop or Meso, you know, whatever you get first. In the beginning, I would just say if you hit drop, stop. If you hit Meso, stop, right? And then once you have all the pieces, you can check, okay, I have 6 drop and 3 meso, I need to rework some. And then you look at the pieces with drop in that situation that have drop but don't have like 6% all stat or 9% strength, and reroll those that don't have it first, so that hopefully in the end you're left with 9 equips, 5 with meso obtain, 4 with drop rate, and that all of them have some kind of strength on it, either 6% all stat or 9% strength. And that way you will lose very little damage. And because you're an Adele, you can just keep killing everything, right?
Yeah.
You have... okay, so now we have 2 pendants, and we have the eye in the face already. Cool. So now we need earring. This earring is also, I would say, a very good candidate before becoming drop or meso, because, you know, has a nice flame, has the set bonus, and the next one that you're going to switch it with is going to basically be the superior, right? So you actually keep it a very long time. So therefore, it's also fine that it's already legendary, but it's already legendary, so we can cash in immediately with just some red cubes. So I would make this into a meso or drop piece as well.
Okay.
So that's 3 down, and we already had 2, so that's 5, so that's 4 to go. So we just need all the rings now. Okay, that's nice and clean. So
Yeah.
when it comes to...
Listen,
yes.
I actually really need to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Well, you could have, you could have
like,
interrupted me.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, so just look at the rings that you have and look at the ones that you can upgrade. I'd probably look at your spare kind of treasure ring. I guess you can start with 1.
Yeah.
And but yeah, 1 piece at a time to make optimal gains, and then wait for the next 30% off and 5, 10, 15 to go into the projects. Then I would say.
Yeah.
And well, you just send me a message on Discord if you have additional questions, okay? And then we can wrap it up there if you have to go right now.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, and good luck.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, we didn't really set an exact time, but oh, he sent me a message on Discord. Yeah, I didn't see that one because I don't have Discord open. Because he had to go for something. But yeah, so if you're in this situation, it's it gets to the point, and that's why I think it's a good idea to also, you know, to always kind of look here, because you can see, if you look at the numbers, that stat-wise, he's, you know, roughly where you want to be. But I'm sure if you look at the Star Force number, where is Star Force here? Like around 265, that he's probably quite below that number. Even including the, see, he's at 204. And that's probably including the guild bonus of... Is it 30 now? How much does it give? Guild scales... 25, right? So he's actually at 179. So he's like 90 Star Force behind, right? So there you can see that... And then the missing link between that is that a lot of the stat will come from your Star Force. So he's there despite the Star Force, which means that disproportionately more money has gone to potential at this point than to Star Force to be optimal, at least in my opinion, with the numbers that you have. And so he's compensating the lack of Star Force with extra stat on the accessories, which is not necessarily bad, if you have like a money-making character on the side, if you have a Kana farmer, right? So if you guys have that, you're totally fine, right? No need to panic. But if you don't have that, you want to get take your foot off the gas when it comes to spending on potentials, which, I get it, feels safer. You have no chance for booming. You don't have to wait for events. You can just send, right? I get that. There's a big, like it's tempting, right? But Star Forcing is just really, really good value. And as long as you plan for it, so get backups and all of that. So in a sense, it's not a horrible situation for him to be in, but it does mean that the 5, 10, 15 this Sunday is just coming too early, and if he would full send now, he would only get like 1 item probably at most with the amount of money that he has, up to 17. So I wouldn't advise going super hard on that now, but focus on getting the accessories to drop rate and meso obtain, increase your baseline of money that you're making, make the training sessions feel much more rewarding, and take advantage of the unique items that you already have in his situation, bend them to drop in meso, start making way more cash, and then the next time an event comes around, then you'll be able to safeguard and send them all up, 30% off to get everything to 15, then pause, 5, 10, 15, anything past 17 that you want to do. And like I mentioned during the session, if you guys are in the same situation, but your, let's say your abs are all like epic, for example, with the same amount of stars, then I would use the fodder gear level 150, Star Force it during 30% off, get a bunch of it, right? Get a bunch of fodder, don't safeguard, save a lot of money that way, and then just transfer hammered over. Even if it's already 12, because when you think about it, getting to 12 is very, very cheap, right? That's the cheapest part of it. If you can transfer over a 12 and get it up to 15, and then during a 5-10-15 immediately get 16 for free, that's always worth it. Whether it's 0 or 12, cost-wise, it's pretty much the same. And the further you go, the more negligible that difference is. So yeah, if you are in either of those situations, hopefully that clarified for you guys what to work on. Sadly, I had to leave a little bit early, so we didn't get to fully wrap it up in a neat little bow, but I guess I just did that for you guys. I'll be drawing the winners. Actually, I'll do that now after this session. I'll draw the winners for February and hit you guys up so that you can message me on Discord and get your free session soon. And if you want to win in March, make sure you leave a comment on this session or any of the other March sessions, and then I might draw you as a winner as well for one of these private sessions. There are also off-stream possibilities and all that, so make sure you check the description if you want to schedule one of these sessions with me. And if you have any questions, hit me up, and I will be streaming every day on Twitch, and the link for that is also everywhere available. Just look for Scardor, you'll find me. And you'll find also there all of those resources that I showed here. Those are all freely available, and you can just check those and have hopefully a little bit of a better idea on where to go. Some links are videos, some links are just giant spreadsheets with maybe a little bit too much information on it, but we have a very helpful chat, and I try to answer all the questions that I see. So maybe I'll see you then, or otherwise I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and see you then.